Now, let's move on to teacher health, because this is my favourite topic, because we need to look after each other and ourselves, alright? So, teacher health includes posture. Statistically, a US study found that teachers, particularly music teachers, had the highest rate of neck pain than in most professions. And the reason why is because we're sitting in a chair at a laptop like this, with our necks going like that, or we're leaning over like that, or we're bending over Miss Sammy's work like that. Okay, number one step is to bring awareness regularly. So practice bringing awareness to your posture. So if you're sitting on a chair and you're sitting like this, just be gentle on yourself. Don't be critical on yourself for doing it. Just every now and then bring it like that. Don't overarch your back, because that's not so good either. What the rule of thumb is, and my physio tells me this as well, is the earlobe is in line with the shoulder and is in line with the bony part of your hip. Earlobe, shoulder, bony part of your hip. It's going to be exhausting. Keep it up like that. You're going to do that, but just bring awareness and bring it back up every now and then. Stretching is also really good, and you can do it in the middle of a lesson. I do it all the time. And I go like that. Just gently put the hand on this side and stretch out these traps. Yeah. Okay. Long app times at the laptop are actually the biggest risk. So luckily in piano teaching you don't do it too much. Okay. What else? Get up and move. So most of our lessons are actually 30 minutes. Don't sit down. Get up and move. And we're actually going to get up and move now. So we're going to hop up. And we're actually going to, if we can, walk around our chair in an arc. And pretend that chair is the student, and walk to the other side of the student and point there. And walk around your chair and point on the other side. And maybe even if you've got a pencil or conductor, do something like this. Give yourself an excuse not to sit next to them. Okay? Because you don't have to sit next to them the whole time. They also need to grow in independence. Okay? So you can be in the background going, na 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 na, give me the crescendo. Or you can be I'll give you a really good example, the Royal March of the Lion song, which is in the preliminary grade. I go to the furthest part of the room away from the student, and I go, the lion is really far away right now, so it's piano. Crescendo. So be animated. Because the moving is good for teaching animation, but it's good for you. Okay? We're going to do one other thing. With these dots, do a kinesthetic game with your student where possible. It's not always possible, but let's say you're on something like a melody like a line, the right hand of this, with the C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, D, E, D, C. Then you put 5 coloured dots on the ground. You can actually let the child choose, so you can go C. What colour do you think of when I say C? A lot of them are going to pick red. That's what I found statistically. D. What colour do you think of when I say D? So you use colour association as well. You put the 5 dots and then you do a tune with them carrying the book. And you go C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, D, E, D, C. Then you say, if you can do it without me, you get 5 points. If you do it alongside with me, I get 5 points. So use a point system. The boys love the point systems. They want a challenge and they want it to be calibrated. Does anyone else have any idea for kinesthetic games that get both teacher moving and student?
Sometimes for rhythm, instead of clapping the rhythm, stamp your feet.
Oh, very good. I nearly forgot about that one. Thank you, Rebecca. So it could be like, you could have the chair and you could go, this is the semi-brave. It's a big couch potato and it sits down the longest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could do a minute. 1, 2. And then crutches can be walking, crutch it, crutch it. And quavers can be running, quavers, quavers, quavers. And semi-quavers like... Some people with semi-quavers like to do watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. So I'll leave it up to you. All right, let's keep moving. That was all about getting up and move. At this point, does anyone have any questions that I can help you? Okay. All right, we're getting into bigger parts. All right, so the next thing, I don't know if you want to sit down. You can do whatever you want, actually, because you're the teacher. All right, so, okay. Let's not lie. Let's be straightforward. Teaching is hard, and it requires so much patience. I teach 40 students a week, and by week 9, I think I'm going to die. I have to do a lot of boxing classes. It's tense because it requires patience, because your mind's like, why can't you do it? And you have to slow yourself down to their pace. So there's a lot of tension. And so, especially if you want to meet a deadline, so you want the parents to know you're progressing them through the course. You've got outcomes, you want them to be up to this part of the syllabus by now, and they're not. And that's actually raising your frustration. And it actually can actually work against you even in your academic trajectory. When you're getting tense and you're exhausted, it's a good time to actually offload and do what we call student-directed teaching. So you can actually turn up to the lesson. You can have a few 5 ideas in your head, and you can say, I've got these 5 activities, which ones do you want to do? Or you're the teacher for this lesson, and I'm the student. Or can you design what we do today? Can you write a song? And they're actually still learning, but you're getting to relax a little bit. So both people are benefiting. So just remember, when the tension gets a bit up and the exhaustion, try student-directed learning. You might have an extended question time where they can ask any questions about music. So save a few relaxing activities for you up your sleeve for when things are getting a bit fuller. Okay. And last thing, I think looking after yourself with vitamins helps me a lot as well. I take magnesium every day, and that's a natural muscle relaxant. A lot of people modern day have magnesium deficiency. So yeah, so B vitamins and magnesium. Okay. Teacher confidence. Teacher confidence. I'm going to maybe ask you, Izzy, why is confidence important when you're a teacher?
Well, this is something I do have issues with, because I'm like quiet as a teacher, not like a loud teacher, whereas a lot of people are really like, when they start speaking, the room's like silent. But there's kind of like a difference between confidence and like kind of how authoritative you sound.
Authoritative, yeah.
So yeah, for some people it's kind of like being authoritative, having that like teacher voice where the kids just start listening. But I think just knowing what you're doing, having an idea of what you're doing and knowing where you want to end up, that kind of helps me to be confident in. And then that gives me time to like focus on the students rather than having to be freaking out that I don't know what I'm doing and stuff. But yeah, it's not about being loud.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily.
I'm definitely
right.
more of a classroom, but yeah.
You can be quiet and be confident. It doesn't necessarily be loud. You're right. Authoritative voice does help. It's one of the leading factors. But you mentioned probably the most leading factor, and that's actually being well prepared. If you're well prepared, or if you at least tell yourself I am, you can take control of a situation. Look, we all do things last minute. You can talk to any of your maths teachers from school, or if you go on prac into a school, a lot of them are doing it off the cuff and last minute. So they're not necessarily prepared, but they're telling themselves, no, I am prepared. I've studied 4 years to get to here or something. And all of you guys are skilled. So I want you to say, in the car when you're going to a student, I've studied, I've got so much skills here to share, I'm going to take control when I walk in there. Okay? Take control. That's my biggest thing. Show them a snippet of your own work. So I do it in the first lesson with a brand new student. If you set the scene at the beginning, it pays off for the entirety of the relationship. So I show them very quickly my best piece, Chopin, you know, and that sort of makes them confident because they're confident in their teacher, that their teacher has the skills to teach them. So right from the beginning, show them what you're worth. Remove factors that erode your confidence. So prevent factors that are going to erode your confidence. Kids misbehaving is going to erode your confidence. Set the rules right at the beginning. We'll talk about that later. If the parent is undermining you, we're going to talk about relationships to partner with parents. Tell parents they have to actually work with you to get the best outcome. All right, so let's go into teacher balance. Balance means sustaining your energy for the whole year. Okay? One manager once said to me when I was working way before Music Waves, he pulled me aside. He said, "Do you party hard?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, you looked it today."
Ouch.
And he said, "Oh, but you know what? He was the one that told me to go out and start my own gig."
Yeah.
He was, and I still am in touch with him, thanking him for believing in me. But he said to me, "Rach, you've got to get your kilojoules to last." Well, what do you mean? It's like, map them out. Don't exert all your kilojoules in the beginning. You're like a marathon runner. You've got to be thinking, conserving, lasting, winning. And so make your kilojoules last. Balance is number one. Mindfulness, sleep, basic thing. I stay away from substance abuse. I think substance abuse leads to anxiety, and you fail to make commitments and you destroy relationships, both corporately, professionally and personally. So yeah, okay. And now boundaries. Set boundaries from the onset. There's quite a lot of evidence to say that both in personal relationships and in teaching, actually, that the teachers who invest time the first 2 weeks of the term or the year setting the laws, so they don't even start teaching the content, they're actually just setting the laws. They actually end up at the end of the year ahead academically as well as on behavioural management fronts. So the secret is, say in the first lesson, I just have 2 rules. My 2 rules is when the teacher's talking, you don't bang on the piano and you don't talk on top of me. My second rule is that we work as a team so that you do well at piano. You can write them out. Sometimes I write them on the back part of the book. When they're misbehaving, I say, remember you agreed to these? And I show them the agreement. Okay?